The Orion X7 by Sunseeker has been my primary robot mower for a little over a year now, but it's time for a change. This is the standard X7 that has the smallest battery and slowest charging. Sunseeker provided this for me, so I didn't get to pick out the model, and it's just a little bit too small of a battery size for my lawn. It's rated up to 3/4 of an acre. I've got just under an acre, and during rainy, hot weather when grass growth is pretty explosive, it has a hard time keeping up. So what I'm going to do is take this to a relative's lawn, get it set up there. It's a smaller lawn, it should live really happy there. And I'm actually going to go with the EcoVax mower that I recently received that has a much bigger battery and faster cut speed. That's just a better fit for my lawn. Before I take it over to the new lawn, I'm just going to clean it up and do an overall health check. This mower, as I detailed in previous update videos, does get a lot of grass clipping buildup above the deck. So what I've found is once a month or maybe every 2 weeks, if you're cutting a lot, is to get it on the workbench here, articulate that deck down, and use a vacuum to suck all that stuff up. This X7 has a real unique setup with two main drive wheels that use differential speed to turn it, but it also has a powered third wheel in the back that swivels and is driven. So the only real wear and tear I've seen on the bot is on this rear wheel. Here's the power cable coming to the hub motor here, and we can see this insulation has been removed on this part, and we can see kind of the intermediate spring layer. And you know, maybe it didn't have insulation on it to begin with, I think, or it's slid up. Obviously this is kind of a tight bend, so this metal spring supports the wire in that location, but there's definitely some wear on it. We can see on the edge of the motor this rubber has worn on both sides, and I believe this happened early in its life. We can see a bunch of scrapes here on the back. Its navigation wasn't dialed in when I first got it, and it did a lot of scraping on my concrete edgers that are on the flower beds, the ones that stick up a bit, and it would, when it went to turn, its rear end would bang into those. I highlighted that in my update videos last year, but late last year they corrected that with a software update, and the thing navigates much better and doesn't hit anymore. So I believe all of this was from that initial wear piece. I have heard some others say that this hub motor went out on them and they were able to get a replacement part, and it solved the problem. I did have some something coming from this hub sticking out, like it got snagged. It was kind of like a fibrous wire or a nylon kind of thread. I cut it off. It doesn't seem to affect anything. There's no noise or anything from this motor. It seems to be working fine yet, but that's just one thing that I've noticed so far. I just got the X7 set up at a relative's smaller lawn, so I think it's a really good fit for the mower. Unfortunately, I've got one concern. This thing navigates really good and cuts reliably, except this side wheel is very loose. It's wobbling all around. Let's see if we can tighten this wheel up. First, we got to pop off the gray hub. It has these pieces. Hopefully, it's just a matter of tightening up this nut, and this nut is pretty loose, so we're just going to tighten that up, and hopefully that resolves. I think that was it. Might as well do the other side while we're at it. It does look, this is a nylock, so it shouldn't have come loose, but clearly it did. Just something we'll have to keep our eye on. All right, that was a lot easier than I thought. Hopefully that was it. We tightened it up, but it's still wobbly. So we have the wheel assembly off, and it exposes the hub here. and everything seems pretty tight here, so I'm hoping just tightening up some of these screws will resolve the issue. So we can see some movement, or there's dirt in here, like there's some movement on the wheel, but nothing looks wallowed out or anything, so that's good. So unfortunately, that looks like what the problem is. That shaft coming out of the motor looks bent. So I attempted to straighten the shaft. I loosened these screws up, none of them were real loose, retightened them, tried to recenter things. The motor shaft looks better. We'll see if that makes any difference. Okay, it's been a week. I'm here checking on the X7. It's living its best life with an incredible view. The yard looks really good. It's doing a good job. I've got it cutting every other day. The wheel is still wobbly. It looks like it needs a motor replacement. I'm gonna look into that, and that will be a future video to replace that, but it keeps working. We'll see how long it keeps soldiering along with a wobbly wheel. There's a power source out here by the dock. So I decided to put the charging station and the RTK out here because this gives the best view of the sky for the GPS to operate, and so far it's been working quite well. And the dock also gave a good place to mount the RTK to it. The X7 comes with this telescoping pole. I can tuck it behind one of these dock supports to protect it good. You see, we'd still need to do some string trimming. When we've got flower beds like this, the vision system obviously sees the leafy plant and will prevent it from kind of plowing through that and cutting real close to the edge. We can see on the area where we don't have that leafy vegetation, it will go like I programmed it with one wheel into the mulch bed so we cut the grass good. But in areas where that vegetation is hanging over, it's going to prevent that. We can see here's another case. We've got leaves and some vegetation hanging over, and so we've got uncut grass here. That simply needs to be cut back, and then the mower will travel along that edge better. The other thing, because we've got this incredible view, we're on a lake, the ground is a little bit soft here, so it tends to not be as level as a more compacted lawn. So one of the things about the X7 that does exceptionally well here is that all-wheel drive system, and it navigates this no problem. This continues to be one of my favorite mowers. Reliability is a little bit in question with that wobbly wheel, so take that into account when you are evaluating different mowers. But the navigation of this mower, the AI vision system, and that all-wheel drive system makes it a top recommendation for me, pending how this motor replacement is going to go for one of those drive wheels. Look for a future update on that. Thanks for watching. Adios.